Howdy there folks, my name's Steven and today we're going to show you and test and review the lightest current production bolt action rifle on the market. That's right folks, the Howa Superlite 16.25 inch barrel version. This thing comes in stripped down at 4 pounds 3 ounces. It's literally as light as a feather. This thing is insane. So we're going to take this out to the range and then we're going to go over the specs and some of the fit, feel, and function. First ever group, 100 yards. Third target from the left, center red circle. Definitely hard to shoot a 6.25 pound rifle. Trigger's definitely heavy on this. Let's go over some of those specs. This rifle features a limb saver slim recoil pad, only about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick, but very soft and pliable. Then coming forward, you have a Stockies stock. It's made of hand-laid carbon fiber. I believe it's made in Florida. Has a nice splatter coat paint job over camo. And then on the bottom here, you have a metal sling swivel stud. Relatively traditional comb height and grip on this, just a little bit fatter than say a Ruger American or Savage Axis. Coming forward, you have a plastic bottom metal and the hacked 2-stage trigger with a curved trigger blade. It features a detachable box magazine right here that is flush fitting. It has the release in the front. It's like a little plastic lever, and this is a single stack magazine, very similar in my opinion to a Tikka, and it's 3+1. Goes in and out like a dream, works flawlessly. Not bad for a 6 pound rifle. Dead center almost. All right. Then coming to the trigger, it's a 2-stage trigger, meaning you have a first stage that's about 1/2 pound in weight, and then you hit a wall, and that's the second stage. Breaks with basically no perceivable creep, but does have some over travel. And I do have one complaint on this particular Howa Superlite 16.25 inch barrel. This trigger was exceptionally heavy from the factory. And unlike most hack 2-stage triggers, I was unable to adjust it with some tools. So now using the Wheeler trigger gauge, we're gonna go ahead and actually give you a real world weight on this trigger. It comes in at 3.5 pounds. The bolt on this is forged one piece, really traditional bolt knob on this, and it is one piece as well. It has 2 locking lugs, an M16 style extractor, and a plunger ejector. Now you're gonna say, okay, that looks smaller than a regular Howa 1500 receiver action, and it is. This is basically a slimmed down short action receiver. Everything's just smaller, everything's just slimmed down, except for the length is still long enough for the calibers it's available in, which are 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm 08, and 243 Winchester. The receiver itself is one-piece machined metal. It has an integral front recoil lug, and that front receiver screw goes into it. Absolutely, really strong, really well-made receiver on these. One of my favorite things about Howa is that one-piece receiver with that integral front recoil lug. Has a 90-degree bolt throw, has a toolless firing pin removal. You simply twist it clockwise, it comes right out like so. Put it back in, it is easy as pie. Turn it like that. Has a 3-position safety all the way to the rear, locks the bolt and keeps it from firing. One forward, you can remove the bolt, but you cannot fire it, and all the way forward, of course, you can fire. The bolt itself, it does have a little bit of zipper sound and isn't as smooth as say a Tikka or a Remington 700 or a Sako, but it's still very functional. After some use, that zipper sound does go away. Then coming forward, you have the Cold Hammer Forge 16.25 inch barrel. It's threaded 1/2 by 28. On the end, it does come with a thread cap. On the end here, I have a Tyon Mini Dragoon titanium suppressor with a Cerakote paint job on it. Absolutely love the suppressor. It's very short, very compact, ultra lightweight, and you can get this in direct thread or QD. I have it in QD right here. Really easy to remove and put on. Really like it, and works fantastically. Then coming back to the stock, you have a fully free-floated barrel and you have a front sling swivel stud. The fore end on this, the grip, is very reminiscent of an old school Remington 700 or Winchester Model 70 in my opinion. Nice, just rounded, fits a medium-sized hand very well. The barrel on this is a like ultralight sporter contour. Fourth group ever out of the Howa Superlite. We're gonna try ELDM again, 100 yards. For upper right, a third target from the left. But I think we might have a 1 MOA group out of this gun, which for a 6.25 pound gun with a scope, rings, and suppressor included, that's pretty impressive with factory ammunition. We're gonna try one more group with ELDX. I think we finally got a sub MOA or almost a sub MOA group using ELDM. We're gonna try one more ELDX because that's probably what I'll use hunting. Love the way this magazine feeds as a single stack, similar to a Tikka. Everything's smooth, operating. Trigger's just a little heavy on this one. Track scope's fantastic for an ultralight scope. Just a little edge distortion, but overall, definitely a great ultralight scope. Fourth target from the left, upper right square. Looking good, I think. Barrel's really wanting to heat up. It's probably 90 degrees out, 85, 90. Folks, we might have a sub half MOA group there. I'm not sure. We'll have to go up and see what it looks like. All right, folks, so here we are with the two targets. The first time ever out with this Howa Superlite. I think this was the first group ever out of the gun. This is ELDX. That's probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches. This was second group ever out of gun. This is, I think, still ELDX. That's actually dang near MOA. It doesn't look like it, but that's probably just MOA and a quarter. Very close to MOA, actually, probably MOA and a quarter. And then we switched to ELDM, and this is actually MOA or sub MOA because you measure center to center. This actually comes right out about just under 1 inch or right at 1 inch. And then we got ELDX. Not shooting as good out of this as the ELDM factory Hornady ammo, both 140 grains, but definitely getting like 1.5 inch groups out of ELDX. This one I think would have been good, but I flinched so bad on the one shot, it ruined my whole group. But this was ELDX, but I think we would have had a tighter group. But overall, you can see ELDX, ELDX, ELDX. I think ELDX, that might have been ELDM. And then ELDM for sure. So ELDM definitely shooting better. It's a 1 in 8 twist barrel, I believe, but it's a super hot day and it is windy. So you got to take that into consideration. Also, the trigger is a bit heavy on this particular Howa for some reason. I have it topped off with Tally one-piece rings, and then I have a tracked response scope on here. Absolutely love this scope for an ultralight, slim, plain Jane, yet effective scope. It doesn't have a side parallax adjustment. It's ultra lightweight, but it has a super smooth, easy to operate, rubberized, fast focus eyepiece. Has a very nice magnification ring, rubberized with a shark fin coming off the top. It's made of aircraft grade aluminum, has a hard anodized finish, and is purged for fog proofness as well as it is waterproof. Has capped windage and elevation turrets on it with toolless zero set, and it is 1/4 MOA per click. It has numeric values on it. It's tactile and audible. The scope tube on this is 1 inch, which makes it very lightweight. It's made in the Philippines. The glass is absolutely fantastic. I have zero complaints. I would highly recommend this scope if you were looking to set up an ultralight rifle and you want something that's plain Jane, ultra lightweight, yet effective. It has a BDC reticle, so you can still shoot out to 500-600 yards with it. Wow. Huh. All right, now let's talk about the performance of this rifle. With 143 grain Hornady ELDX factory ammunition at 100 yards, it didn't do that good. It shot about 1.5 inch to 1.25 inch 3-shot groups. However, do take note that anytime I shoot a ultralight sub 6-pound rifle, it's difficult for me to shoot it consistently accurate. It's difficult for me to mitigate the felt recoil, and it's just inherently difficult to shoot good groups, in my opinion. However, with Hornady ELDM 140 grain ammunition, I was able to easily achieve sub MOA groups and even shot one sub 3/4 inch at 100 yards. So very, very accurate, very nice rifle, super pleased with it. I love the fit, feel, and function of it. I love how light it feels. I love how quiet it is when you tap on it. I love the texturing. It's easy to grip even when your hands are wet. I love the 3-position safety. I love the short overall length and how light it is. However, I do have some complaints. I do not like the trigger on this particular one. Every other Howa I've ever gotten, I liked the trigger. I was able to adjust it. It was relatively light from the factory. This one didn't really want to adjust and feels heavy for some reason. That's one complaint. Number 2 complaint would be that it's a plastic bottom metal. Now, I know why they did a plastic bottom metal. It's to shed a ton of weight, and I get it. However, you could break this trigger guard easy because it's plastic. I just don't prefer that. Also, it's difficult to torque down your receiver screws to really good tightness when you have a plastic bottom metal like this without cracking it. However, I didn't have problems like that, and I do think it's metal pillar bedded. This is such a light gun. It's like you can shoot it easily. Overall, really impressed with this rifle. Shoots like a dream, functions like a dream, and it's truly featherweight. In fact, I can take one finger like this, watch this folks, and I have no issues holding it up. It's super, super light. Let's go ahead and put it on a scale here for you. This entire rifle with Tally one-piece scope rings with a track response scope on it that, by the way, is 2.5 to 10 power with a 42mm objective lens on it. The whole thing with the suppressor on it, with the scope on it, with the scope rings on it, comes in at 6 pounds. 6 pounds, 5.6 ounces. That's literally insane, folks. And the overall length on this is so short. I absolutely love the Howa Superlite 16.25-inch barrel rifle. Stay tuned for more reviews. Thanks for watching Bullets for Bucks. Check out this next video and subscribe.